First things first, if you're familiar with this introduction, feel free to skip ahead until the trigger warning for our racist, hate-filled image of the day appears on screen. Otherwise, let me tell you. In each of these videos, I give away a t-shirt from my website, UnionOfTruth.org. That t-shirt goes to whichever comment in the comment section scores the highest on my double-secret proprietary rating scale, and they'll get to pick whichever design they want from the website. Mind you, I give away a t-shirt if the video gets at least 5,000 views and 50 unique comments by the time I start making my next video. I intend to make these videos 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Official rules are posted just below the like and subscribe buttons. Now, unless you're already fully aware of the following 9 facts, or you have a completely open mind and seek to expand your worldview, these videos might not be for you. Fact number 1. All of our society's root-level structural institutions are controlled by psychopathic parasites who intend to utterly subjugate us. And that's putting it mildly. Fact number 2. No one is coming to save us from them. If we don't take matters into our own hands, we will be utterly subjugated. Fact number 3. We are quickly running out of time to prevent such an outcome. Fact number 4. In order to prevent our subjugation, we need a viable plan of action. Fact number 5. There is no quick fix. A viable plan will need to be very detailed and will require that people must go outside of their comfort zone in order to comprehend it. Fact number 6. As an aspect of its viability, the plan must not require that everyone fully comprehends it in order to follow it. Fact number 7. Since the plan must not require that everyone fully comprehends it in order to follow it, leaders will be needed to properly inform and correctly guide fellow citizens who won't put forth the effort to fully comprehend the plan. Fact number 8. Leaders will need to fully comprehend the plan. Fact number 9. Exemplary leaders are committed to empowering those whom they lead. Exemplary leaders lead by example. And for those of you who are still with me, here's a 10th fact. This book contains a viable plan. The purpose of these videos is to disseminate the information provided in this book and to start an ongoing dialogue about all things related to the plan. You can download a free copy of this book in PDF format from UnionOfTruth.org without signing up for anything or filling anything out. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping you'll take me up on my simple 10-page challenge. It works like this. Read the first 10 pages of the book and fully investigate all the links that are offered in order to discover the following. 1. Am I functioning from a valid conceptual foundation? 2. Have I done enough legitimate research to qualify as someone whose opinion is worthy of consideration? 3. Does the book actually provide a viable and fully detailed plan to thwart the science of fiction? Quite simple, and certainly not too much to ask of any red-blooded American patriot. One last thing. Those of you who are wondering, who is this guy? Should be sure to check out my video entitled, Who is this guy? Please, let us know exactly what you found most hateful and oppressive about that fiendish image. Your feedback is vital to our ongoing mission of greater understanding. All right, in this episode, We're going to go through pages 102 through 105. We're starting a new section. It's going to last quite a long time. It's called The Map, the Keys, and the Instructions for Redemption. Before we get into it, though, I will remind everyone that, as mentioned on pages 34 and 35, the author's purposely condescending tone is not directed at you. It's directed at those who will mock you when you try to share this information with them. Let's do this. Page 102, Section 15. The Map, the Keys, and the Instructions for Redemption. Since the average American has no knowledge of history or of the useful insight that such an education provides, they can't see our plans unfolding in broad daylight. I'm talking about a more subtle, more dangerous, more widespread, and more technologically advanced reenactment of the situation that Winston Churchill unsuccessfully tried to wake Europe to in the early 1930s. Try to stay focused here, so that you can share in the awareness I am imparting. Winston Churchill saw that the Germans were rebuilding their military strength, in clear violation of the Treaty of Versailles, and he spoke out to have their efforts stopped cold before they could successfully invade any of the other countries in the region. The Treaty of Versailles is what the Germans were forced to sign after their loss of the First World War, in which they admitted full blame for the war and which forbade them from rebuilding a substantial military, etc. According to the Treaty of Versailles, France and England had the specified right to act exactly as Churchill was urging. Yet, in response to his keen insights and considerable efforts to share them, he was laughed at and called a warmonger. History shows that he was quite the conspiracy theorist. So the German military continued to grow, finally marching into the Rhineland in clear violation of the Treaty of Versailles. Churchill kept warning of the coming storm, but none of the powers in Europe did a thing. They all said that Hitler would be content with what he had just done. But the Nazis kept invading other countries and increasing their military might. And what did the career politicians of England and the other European countries yet to be invaded do? They kept telling the ignorant citizens of their countries that everything was fine. They knew from the polling data of their time that those citizens wanted nothing to do with another armed conflict anyway. Might they have felt that way because there was no one but the warmonger Churchill prompting their poorly equipped, poorly functioning minds to conceive of it being in their best interests to pursue such a course of action? On this went, until German troops finally had control of the continent. They were soon building fortifications along the shore of the English Channel in France. Why were they doing that? They were doing it in order to protect their position from the English as they prepared for their vicious aerial assault on the island nation. If you don't know the rest of the story, look into it. There's more than enough death and suffering at a seemingly safe distance to keep you entertained. An unimaginably widespread physical destruction of irreplaceable architecture and art, almost 60 million people dead, with countless more wounded, tormented, and tortured, plus a couple of atomic bombs being dropped. You'll love it. Of course, you should note that my mention of 60 million dead people does not include the additional 90 million people that died after the war at the hands of Stalin and Mao. So you're wondering why this little history lesson is important? I'll try to keep it real simple. Try to imagine your Declaration of Independence and Bill of Rights as the European continent, and your top government operatives and their corporate partners as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, pre-World War II. They intend to take much more of it than you are willing to believe they want, and that they are willing to admit to wanting. And the more of it that you keep letting them take, the more entrenched and powerful they are becoming, in clear opposition to the concepts of personal freedom and just government that are expressed in your Declaration of Independence. This means that the ability to eliminate the poisonous constructs you have been helping them wall you in with will soon be gone. Large numbers of you must immediately become fully aware of what's really happening and of what needs to be done to stop it. The German generals admitted after World War II that if Churchill had simply been listened to from the start, the Nazi menace never would have amounted to anything. Funny that they should have said that. Contrast their words with something Lao Tzu said. Quote, "Tackle difficulties when they are easy. Accomplish great things when they are small. Handle what is going to be rough when it is still smooth. Control what has not yet formed its force. Deal with a dangerous situation while it is safe. Manage what is hard while it is soft. Eliminate what is vicious before it becomes destructive. This is called attending to great things at small beginnings." Unquote. 15a. It's going to take courage for you to act on what I'm about to explain. A strong sense of honor will also be needed. It will not require a single shot to be fired, and I am going to explain what must be done in enough detail that a group of 14-year-old children could actually carry out the plan if they were given permission to do so by their parents. But many among you will be completely overwhelmed. The amount of personal responsibility and resolve that is required to redeem yourselves and your nation will not appeal to the indolent masses we've cultivated. Unfortunately for your children, less than a handful of their elders possess even a spark of noble spirit. Most of you don't even know what honor is. You are a lost flock. Yet, you do not have even one day to waste before doing the following things. 1. You and everyone you know must form local, regional, state, and national branches of a coalition. It must bring together every other related activist group in your country in order to organize the widespread presentation of the message and concepts offered in this book. Such presentations must be made in every single college, public library, union hall, church, synagogue, mosque, volunteer firehouse, private home, public park, and drinking establishment in your country. The number of people involved must overwhelm any governmental opposition to the completely lawful actions and demands you must all take and make. Yes, they are outlined in the following sections of this book. And everyone must be informed of the $250,000 tax-free cash incentive that is being offered. The coalition must utilize the internet via a central website, continuous email, and a social media campaign in order to keep everyone properly informed of all happenings. The mainstream media will surely distort the facts. They will lie about the peaceful nature of the coalition. They will not accurately describe its size and strength, its true purpose, or its constitutionality. They will demonize its Declaration of Independence mandated ideology. The coalition must direct everyone to immediately purchase as many heirloom fruit and vegetable seeds as they can. Heirloom seeds will produce more seeds with which to grow more food in the future. And everyone must begin planting their seeds as soon as the growing season for what they have arrives. Everyone must learn of the techniques required to 1. Grow those fruits and vegetables. 2. Properly can them. 3. Dehydrate and store them. 4. Harvest and store the new seeds for future use. 5. Construct an inexpensive, simple greenhouse. There are many books on the subject and many related videos on YouTube. Any local garden center will set you on the right course. You need to forget the idea of green lawns, empty rooftops, and vacant lots. You need to plant a victory garden. I cannot possibly overstate the need for everyone everywhere to grow such gardens on every single inch of available space in your nation. Your lives literally depend on this. But before any of you conceptual casualties consider committing to the cause, take notice. you must act in accordance with the following fact. 2. Your success will absolutely depend upon the full-scale, fervent participation of the youth in your country. Fervent equals marked by great intensity of feeling. Unlike most of the adults, they have not yet had their spirit and the voice of reason fully ground down and shut out by their inability to genuinely, honorably succeed in the real world we have constructed. Yes, we do constantly work to undermine their inherent positive attributes and capabilities with poisonous chemical compounds and by instituting their real-world education and personal interests. But they have not yet been fully, personally beaten down by the endless maze of bureaucracy and innumerable socioeconomic roadblocks we've crafted. Unlike most adults, they've not yet completed our doctorate-level courses and being discouraged from believing they have any intrinsic worth. They don't yet believe that even a truly concerted effort to change the world would be absolutely futile and thus not worth the hassle of any serious consideration, conversation, or action. Those victims in training must be made fully aware of these facts. 1. Literally every aspect of their future is dependent upon this. 2. They cannot, in any way, depend upon the adults to see to it that the needed work will get done. It must be made crystal clear to them that you mental and moral weaklings have allowed a highly intelligent, extremely creative, supremely patient, small group of thieves whose purpose is your destruction and whose goal is that you suffer along the path to that end, to ensnare you in an intricate system of slavery that is nothing other than a highly evolved method of forcefully controlling your actual being, in order to steal from you as they have you gather whatever it is that they value, while they simultaneously effectively force false ideas upon you through myriad misleading claims, whose constant, clever presentation leads to your believing that the actions taken by them are needed for your own benefit. In other words, make sure, since your life does depend on it, that all of the youth in your country immediately tune out and turn off our mind-melting gadgets. Make sure they read, reread, and understand every single word in this book. See, unlike their completely beaten down predecessors, those youth might get a clear picture of the horrible future that awaits them. And enough of them just might do the work required to get that tax-free $250,000 plus that I mentioned earlier into their own pockets. How's that for incentive? Well, that's it for today. Let's meet back here tomorrow. Till then, take good care of yourself and remember, objectivity, logic, fidelity, because absurdity knows no bounds.